My goal with every shot is to not just take a picture of like a pretty face and good makeup and hair, but show who that person is. Not to like put too fine of a point on it, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. And that's kind of the thing. It's like you're capturing someone's heart, their soul, who they are as a person.
Welcome to Inspired By, a podcast where we have casual conversations with creatives to learn about what they do, how they work, and what inspires them to be creative every day. I am your host, Marissa Davis, and I am joined by co-host Jennifer Nilsson.
Hello.
Hello. This week, we are going to be inspired by a photographer, content creator, fashionista, foodie. There's really not much that she hasn't done. She is Chelsea Patricia, and we are really excited to have her on the program today, always bringing her bright and cheery attitude.
Yes.
So get ready for a little dose of sunshine today.
For sure. Chelsea is fabulous. I can't wait to talk to her. But before we do that, we start every episode with a creative brief where we're joined by a couple members of our Clementine team here, and they bring us a surprise topic of conversation. So today we are joined by Sharon and Caroline. So what did you guys bring us today?
Well, thank you for having us. Excuse me. So today we are going to talk about experiential marketing and activations. So super excited. I feel like we just got out of the season of activations. And pop-ups. And
We're overactivated.
yes. But it's not even just marketing based. It's just emotion based, I feel like, is the what it bottles down to is, from pop-ups like for jewelry store, like people that only have online. So they bring it to like a coffee shop or a store so you can actually experience it, to like the Barbie dream house, like in real life, or like the Eloise suite, where like you can go and like for not cheap, rent like a room at the plaza where they, it's like looks like Eloise's room, and like to just experience that, to have those memories.
Yeah, and I think a part of that is bringing the emotional, aspect to it, and having brands connect with their consumers instead of just seeing a lot of being inundated by digital ads. Having the consumers trust the product by experiencing it. For example, the Pillsbury Dough collaborated with Zillow and had a whole house that people can rent out and do different experiential rooms with their products too. And so it's that feel good nostalgia, but also emotional connection, and but just being something separated from the digital market. Digital ad space.
I think it's really interesting because it was not that terribly long ago when like digital experiences were everything. Everybody was trying to come up with cool digital experiences, things you could do on your phone or your computer or, whatever. And now I feel like everyone's so inundated with digital all the time. And you're like, there's such a constant influx of that it's kind of flipped back the other way. And people have this craving for like something in the real world that they can go out and do.
Well, and we talk so much about how marketing is personal today, more so than it ever has been. And I think it's part of that disconnect that we're all experiencing in the digital world. But being able to have a now personal connection with a brand by being in their space and having that experience kind of draws you in. I know Central Perk is a coffee shop that I think there's one in Boston, and now they've got a new one in Times Square. And that is like coming full circle in creating that experience that everybody always wanted to have, and kind of allowing it to, now it's a real place that you can really go and hang out, and there's an orange sofa and do your thing. So I think all of that is really drawing in on that brand awareness, but kind of making it feel even more real than it ever has before. It's really cool.
But then everybody goes and has the experience and like films themselves doing it and posts it to social media. And now we're all back where we started.
Exactly. Right. I think about it that way. But like Goodnight Moon, they did kind of the same thing like the Eloise version, like where it's like this room that looks like the Goodnight Moon room in the book.
Oh, wow.
So like families can go and experience this because that's like, I don't know how long that book has been out, but a long time. And I feel like most families know and have read that book, or it's like a classic in your home, like a bedtime book, but just like experience that rather like outside of the book. It's just really cool, and it builds those lasting memories.
Yeah. Have you all been to any of these, experiences or immersive?
You took the next question out on that. I was going to ask you all that.
I personally have not actually experienced any of that, but
Yeah, I haven't either.
I have a few on my list that I haven't made it out to because they were either sold out at the time or I didn't have time myself. But yeah, like some of the Van Gogh exhibits and things like that I think would be really cool, where they do all the projection mapping and you can feel like you're definitely immersed in this space. I think those are really interesting and engaging things for anybody, but especially for creative people to feel
yes.
Surrounded by that creativity. They do a lot in the art world in that way. And I think that that's a great way to draw people even closer to the art and to the creativity itself.
What are your thoughts on, like I said, we kind of just got out of the holiday season, but like all of the restaurants and bars doing pop-ups. I feel like that's something we probably all could say that we've been to and experienced and on like a low level, like a restaurant here, Melt Yard. I know we went last Christmas, I think, and it was Home Alone.
Yep.
So it was like all of the like, I don't know, like
The pictures, the scenes, the food.
yeah, the food and
The names on
like,
the menu, like everything was kind of,
yes, and they even like reenacted like some of the scenes and the tricks. That's what I was looking for that he did. So I think that was really cool. Like even like the pizza box with the little arrows pizza box. Oh my gosh, that's really cool. Like a movie you've watched, I don't even know how many times.
I love a good pop-up.
Yeah.
I think it's all about people just trying to find creative ways to create those connection points. It's a different way to get somebody to interact with you that, is just a little bit different and a little bit memorable and maybe hopefully something they're going to tell other people about.
Yeah.
Right. So you create that interest and hopefully carry it down the line.
Yeah.
And people search long and hard and will travel long distances to go to a really good pop-up, for instance, or immersive experience. So, I think the competition is kind of pretty strong, especially here in Atlanta, where everybody's doing something specifically around the holidays, but during other times of the year. And if you can go to the one that's the best, then people, that'll drive traffic for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, at least what is competition for them is fun for the rest of us, right? Because we get to see what all they come up with.
I know. Central Perk is on my list.
Well, and the other added layer that we were talking about was how the previous generations really like hung on to a lot of physical, tangible gifts. And I know a lot of us in our Christmas episode had discussed how we wanted more experience style gifts.
Right.
And I feel like that's also why the next few generations are leaning towards the minimalistic and less clutter in our homes, but more real life, and like
Moments and memories.
moments,
Yeah.
making the magic.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah,
That's making those moments last.
As much as you can, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. That was a fun experience. And hopefully you'll get to try out those pop-ups and let us know how they are. Or Central Perk. Is anybody going to make the trip and try out Central Perk?
I don't even drink coffee, but I would. Somebody send me to New York.
Well, thank you so much for that. In the meantime, before you head to Central Perk, it looks like Chelsea is here. So give us just a minute to get her mic'd up and we will be right back.
Our guest today is someone who inspires us with her photography, her fashion sense, and her overall love of life personality. Please help me welcome Chelsea Patricia to the podcast. Hey, Chelsea.
Hi.
Thanks
Happy
for
to be
joining
here.
us. We're excited to have you. And for those of us who don't know who you are, which I would be surprised if anybody doesn't know who Chelsea Patricia is, but let's assume there's somebody out there. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and all of that.
Okay, I'm gonna try to condense it because I do a lot of shit. I started in photography and videography. I've been doing commercial photo and video, overall photography for 16 years, coming on 17 years now. And through that, started getting into the marketing side of things. So photo, video, social media, copywriting, all the things in that regard. I have been working as a fractional CMO for different companies for about 2.5 years now. And I am technically a social media influencer as well. So that side of the camera as well. I say technically because it's not like something that I'm doing all the time because I have so many clients in other regards. Do some social media management. And I'm also a marketing and mindset coach. So I have a group of artists that I coach on making a living as an artist, how to run their personal branding and everything. And then I recently launched CMO to Grow, which is fractional CMO services, more on a consulting level for smaller businesses and founders instead of larger corporations.
Wow.
I think
So
I
you
covered
have an
everything.
unlimited amount of energy, is what I heard you say.
I don't know that would be
Or
accurate.
a time machine, or what? How?
Well, basically, on the ride here, I was on one of my consulting calls. So, if that tells you anything, I'm very efficient with my time use.
Right. So how do you keep up with everything?
Multitasker.
Yeah, multitasking for sure. That is definitely something in my wheelhouse, and I really love it. I think that's part of it. I really love it. And then I do have one child, but he is 20, so he's grown and doesn't take my time. So I'm able to really devote a lot of my time to my clients and my pursuit of excellence, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. So, you kind of got your start in photography. What drew you to a creative lifestyle? How did you come across that, and how did you build upon it from there?
Okay. In high school, I was in theater. That became like my love, my passion. And I was minoring in theater with an English major in college when I got pregnant at 19. So my scholarship was a full, complete scholarship, but I had to go every semester sequentially. And I had to drop out a semester to have him because he was due on like finals week.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So I had to give
Kind of
up
hard to
my...
pick.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. One of them I had to do regardless of whether I wanted to or
Right.
not.
Yeah.
When I got to that moment, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But there's only one way out now. So,
Yeah.
so I lost my scholarship, but it was always a passion of mine. So when I started my photography business, I basically, what was the name of it? Flickr. I don't know if anyone remembers Flickr from 20 years ago, but I became obsessed with photography on Flickr as like a creative outlet. And I took out my first credit card and spent all of it on my first camera.
Oh, wow.
And I just started teaching myself from online. And then I had a friend reach out and go, how much would you charge me for headshots? I'm in theater at Auburn. And I was like, I can charge for this?
Oh,
okay,
wait.
great. Yes. Yes, I can do that.
I will do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I was working at a dentist office during the day with no creative outlet there. Yeah. And then I was working, I would go pick up Malachi from daycare, bring him home, get him in bed, and then I would stay up till 2, 3 a.m. editing, and then wake up and do it all over again. Go to the dentist office, take care of Malachi, edit, until I moved to Atlanta, and then I went full time.
Yeah. I think that's probably
amazing.
when I met you.
Yes, about then, yes.
Yeah, it was about, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, it's 13 years ago that I met you. It's crazy. And I remember, I was looking for something very specific for my wedding photography. And I said, my husband and I are both artists, both really creative people. I want something that really captures that essence of what we're going for. Like, I don't want your typical wedding photography. I don't want it to feel very traditional. I want it to feel fresh and different. And I want somebody who is okay with that. And so I was looking through everything, and I came across your portfolio and just thought to myself, she's the one. I'm pretty sure she's got the thing that I need. Like, she's got that oomph that I'm looking for. And then when we met, I could tell right off the bat. We kicked it off. You understood what I was going for. So talk a little bit about your style and kind of what makes you different from a traditional, portraiture artist or something of that nature.
So that is one thing that I missed in kind of my explanation, is that I started in weddings and portraits. And that gave me the background I need to be extremely efficient, because on a wedding day, as you're aware, you don't have a choice. You have to be efficient. And sometimes your time gets cut. So I would say I'm inspired by fashion, obviously. And bright colors, also, obviously. And that's always been the case. I've just gotten more bold about it as I've gotten older, but that was always the case. And I think my main thing is just I create the things that make me happy and make me feel something. Because if I'm trying to fit into someone else's box of what wedding photography should have been, or even what commercial photography should be, then I'm not having any fun with it. And why would I run my own business and all that goes along with it to not enjoy it?
Yeah.
The whole point is to enjoy yourself and love what you're doing.
Right.
If I had to fit into the traditional Southern photography box, I would not have liked it, and I might as well just get a consistent paycheck and check out at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah.
Go back
It's
to the
that-
dentist office.
Right, exactly. That was easy. Sit in front of the thing. Dr. Cromwell's office at the Waters, how can I help you? And call it a day at the end.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of passion in what you do, and you take a lot of pride in what you do. How does that, talk about kind of how that blends in with commercial photography and working with individuals and doing headshots and things like that? That's a very personal moment for the person who's having their picture taken. So how do you kind of balance the stress and emotions of that individual, of your subject, in what you do? Because that seems like a lot.
It is. And I actually really love that you're asking this question, because being just a straight up commercial photographer without a background in portraiture and real human beings, there's a very different feeling between I'm shooting for a company and my goal is to make that company money.
Right.
And then I'm shooting for a human and my goal is to make that human feel confident and beautiful or handsome and feel like themselves, their ultimate selves on camera. And I blend the two because I'm very person oriented. I love people. I love meeting new people, different backgrounds, everything. And over the years, having shot close to 2 decades, I have always been good at picking up on someone's energy, but a lot of times I'm watching from behind the camera, so I can watch people without being a creeper. I'm supposed to be doing that. But I'm able to watch even just their micro expressions where they might feel uncomfortable, their body language and stuff like that. So I'm constantly talking to them and picking up on how they feel about things and asking them if they're comfortable and not allowing them to overthink what they're doing. And so my goal is to merge, let's sell a product and or service and make the most money doing that with these images. How are we going to market this? But also, how do we make the people in the images, whether they're just employees of a company or they're the owners of their company or they're models modeling for the company, across the board, everyone needs to be confident and comfortable and love the images of themselves, because that's also going to translate on camera.
Yeah.
I've always said, if your partner says, oh, you should wear that dress, but you don't feel comfortable in that dress, that's not the dress you should wear.
Right.
If you're most comfortable in matching sweats that feels authentically like you, that's what I want to see you on camera, because it's more important that you're confident than it is that you look chic or look professional, in my opinion. So it is a merging of both of those things and seeing it all at once. Also, just on the end of furthering the marketing, if everyone in the images, say your employees, love their headshots, they're going to be more likely to post those headshots and tag your company. If they're doing that, then that's free marketing for you, organic socials, that they're talking about the company they work for more. And so that furthers the goal of the original thing of making money from your product and or service.
Right.
Yeah. It all comes full circle.
Right.
You've thought about it all.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can build everything up by building people
Yeah.
up.
Yes.
And that's sort of amazing.
Well, and you guys know this. Marketing is just human psychology. Yeah. It's how do human beings interact with their environment? How do they view things? What does it? You're selling an emotion. You're not selling a product. You're selling, what does that product make me feel?
Right.
You're not selling a service. How does that service make me feel? How does it better my life? And so across the board, I feel like, and I'm also like a kind of woo-woo energy synergy person, but like I think across the board, all the good energy, everyone being on board, everyone being happy, feeling confident,
Right.
it puts everything in alignment from pre-production, post-production, actual marketing campaign.
Yeah.
So you've always been a people person?
Yeah.
I think that is a skill that a lot of people don't have. Has it always just come naturally to you, or have you worked on it to get that way?
I think I've worked on it. So I was actually very shy
Okay.
as a kid. So
The theater background.
That is the
probably
second
would've
thing I'm
helped.
having trouble picturing.
Yeah.
Chelsea
Yes.
being shy.
Yep.
Chelsea in a dentist's office. I'm having trouble with that one too. But
I
I'm
actually
working on
did
it.
dental assisting too. Really? I assisted in a full mouth extraction before, so I've been there. Yeah, so when I was in elementary school, we moved around a lot. And I was extremely shy. So basically at recess, I would just go straight to the line and sit down and read my Nancy Drew book until recess was over. My only friends were like the children who are deaf, and I learned sign language just to communicate with them.
Yeah.
So I don't know when I started like coming out of my shell, probably like high school when I got into theater. And it has been since then. And it could be that there's something to having not had a lot of connections with friends growing up that makes me appreciate so much connecting with people at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably something that's really helped your career, to be honest.
Well, and I think being observant too, like you were talking about, you're very good at reading people. And I think, you've done photos obviously for our team here. And I know most everyone on our team like wants no one else to take their picture ever. Like I can't tell you how many times like the Chelsea advice gets repeated over and over and over again when you are not here. So you're like living in all of our heads.
I love it.
Enjoy
Excellent.
that.
Top of mind marketing.
But I mean, I think you're really, really good in that of taking a lot of different people in a very disparate group that have lots of different things going on and making everybody feel like, no, this is going to be the best. This is
Thank you.
definitely
I
gonna
love
do it. So that's a really unique talent. So
Is there something in particular when you're taking a shot that you're trying to really capture?
It would depend on what kind of shot we're talking about.
Like a person, human portraits, headshots.
I would say I am consistently trying to pull out what is the most natural expression of them. And that's even people that I'm just meeting. I haven't had like conversations at length with anyone.
Right.
But being able to, like we talked about, pick up on things, sense what they're comfortable with and not comfortable with. And I've noticed a lot whether someone tends to smile or not smile. I can tell if they are self-conscious about something. And so my goal with every shot is to not just take a picture of like a pretty face and good makeup and hair, but show who that person is. Not to like put too fine of a point on it, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. And that's kind of the thing. It's like you're capturing someone's heart, their soul, who they are as a person. And it really does break my heart when I realize that there are so many people who are like, oh, I don't like photos of myself. I don't. Or when someone says, this is something that I get a lot, is, oh, I'm not photogenic. And my response is typically like, no, you've just never had your photo taken by a good photographer.
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Everyone is
Yeah.
photogenic because every human being has a story to tell and a history, and they have beauty that you can find within them. That's entirely possible. It is just that a lot of people haven't had the confidence instilled in them or the support, or they've had partners or friends who are not good partners or friends,
Right.
or parents in their history who have made them feel like they're not physically attractive enough. And so my goal with those, when I pick up on that, is to get a photo that makes them feel beautiful or handsome or special, to start shifting that narrative in their head. Whatever I can offer to that conversation going on in their head constantly, I would love to provide a shift in that mindset, even if it's just a brief touch point during a 5-minute headshot.
I love that. It's like peeling back, you have to peel back these layers. Like I was talking about people having a very emotional, personal attachment to it. You've got to peel back all of those layers of pain and suffering that have happened in the past to get to the true beauty that's inside of them that is in there.
Yep.
That's got to be really difficult. It seems like a big challenge.
It is, but I love a challenge. I
Well,
would
we
have
know
never
that.
succeeded in weddings if not. But I also like, it's one of those things, again, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, like, why work for yourself? And for me, I try to relate what I'm doing to having some positive effect in the world, not just. So if I'm, okay, when I hired by you guys, it's not just, okay, let's sell Clementine Creative Services, but I see it as I am helping female founders make the living that they deserve to make off of being talented and hustlers, and I'm helping to support your staff of talented individuals earn a living and do what they love. So even when I worked for hotels, even though it's like a corporate hotel, I'm thinking of it as every person I walk past in the hallway, the housekeepers to the front desk, I'm enabling them by helping that hotel make money to feed their families, to live a full life, to make ends meet, and to be able to do their job easily, because it's really stressful for an employee, even at a lower level employee, like a entry employee, to bear the burden of someone higher up going, we're not making enough sales.
Right.
So if I can help with marketing to enable that pathway for the sales to come in and the revenue to drive revenue, then I'm helping everyone in that business. And for me, I have to relate it, for it to be worth it to me, I have to relate to humans benefiting from what it is that I do.
Yeah.
And I charge money for.
I think it's incredible.
Okay, so
Food, fashion, photography, and what was the other one? Fitness.
I would say, okay, travel is probably at the top of that list for me. But then, I mean, everything's related. That's why I'm like, everything falls under McRae Media umbrella because it's all under marketing. But my goal is for everything that I do that makes me money to be things that I love to do.
Yeah.
I would say hospitality is a really great one that I love to work within, because it enables me to shoot fashion with the models I'm using for the shoots. I'm shooting hospitality in terms of travel, and then I'm also getting to shoot food because most hotels have a restaurant. So it enables me to kind of like shoot all the things I love to shoot. The only thing I'm not interested in is anything to do with numbers. So that would be the bottom of the list. Right. Everything else is just kind of, I love fashion. I don't necessarily do fashion photography per se, because that is, I do more that like sell stuff, not just like fashion photography for the sake of like shooting a pretty agency model, but I end up working fashion as a background into my commercial work. If that answers your question.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Talk about some of the places that you've been and kind of where you've been and where you want to go. You know, like you said, kind of being in that energy space and kind of manifesting. What are you manifesting right now that you haven't done yet?
Okay, because I was like geographically or like more of a all-encompassing. I really love my consulting work, because for me, again, that is a very direct, like I am affecting the mindset of a founder or a team, and I have a lot of power. I've had clients before, like back in the day, where I would, working as a photographer in like fashion, I would give suggestions on trending things, how to use it and stuff, and I wasn't listened to. And then I'm like, this could be so much better. So I really love the consulting from like, I have power to affect change within businesses and really help them. I would say more consulting. I'm also trying to shift to, I could never not shoot on location because I absolutely love shooting action. But I'd love to shift my scheduling, kind of like we were talking about, I have so much going on, to where I'm doing a lot more consulting phone calls and work that I can do from abroad, from traveling, being on the road. And then kind of like just be very intentional with when I'm in Atlanta shooting on location for clients.
Right.
That would probably be like my next step.
Yeah.
So that would also mean expanding CMO to grow to more clients, because I have the capacity for that. Because I didn't prepare for this. I just ask me a question, I got you. And that's how I run my consulting calls. Yeah. Like I prepare what I need to prepare in terms of Excel sheets and stuff like that. budgets, but for the most part, I'm like, what do you need help with? Okay, we're going to solve it right now. So I think
Very
that would be
instinctual.
yes, very much so. I mean, I kind of underestimated like years ago. I'm like, oh, I can't imagine having been in business for a decade, and now I'm coming on 2 decades. I'm like, yeah, I know a lot now. Like I never know everything, but I'm like, oh yeah, just time and learning.
Yeah.
I can answer questions instinctually now.
Yeah, you amass all that experience.
Yeah.
Do you ever still feel like you're still on a learning curve that, you know, you always feel underexperienced, or do you always feel like right exactly where you need to be or overexperienced?
Okay, imposter syndrome is real.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
That's the essential heart of that question. I have like this balance of when a client hires me for consulting or to show up on a shoot, I know I'm going to nail it.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'm confident in what I'm talking about. I'm confident that I'm going to be able to get the shot. But I will say before a photo shoot, I am always still nervous. And then afterwards, I always have, I hope I got a good shot. And then I get on the computer, I'm like, hell yeah, I nailed this. So like it's always this for me.
You've got the little like devil and angel on one
Right.
side and the other always
Always.
talking to you. Yeah.
Always. And so in terms of learning though, like curiosity has definitely always been just an element of who I am. And so I am the type of person, I'm always doing research and I'm reading articles. Like I have a med spa that I run their social media and my team does their posting and everything. And I'm constantly now reading medical articles that are peer reviewed
Right.
just so that I know what I'm talking about. Do I need to? Probably not.
Yeah.
No one's actually reading that closely, but I want to make sure that I'm up to date on everything and I understand what the doctor's talking about. And I do the same thing with like marketing as an industry.
Yeah.
Any client that I connect with, I want to know their industry. So I would say I'm always learning. I'm never going to be so arrogant to think I know it all. But also, I had one of my first CMO clients. They were like, oh, can you do this? I'm like, yeah, sure I can. And I'm like, I'm going to find out how to. And then I did it.
Give me 20 minutes.
Right.
Exactly. By
Yeah.
our next meeting,
By the time we have that meeting
yes.
in place, I will be telling you what to do. And that's just how I live life,
Yeah.
basically.
For sure. And I think, you know, that's the beauty of being doing marketing and all of that. You know, we experience that too. We learn so much about a lot of different industries and products and how things work and all of that. That's like your curiosity is never not going to be piqued in the marketing industry because you've always got something new that you can learn. And the more that you know about it, the better off you're going to be for your client and to be able to do the work that they need to be done. And it's kind of pulling it, you know, I understand that my purpose is this, but I also understand that your goal is this. And so my real purpose is to get you to your goal,
Yeah.
no matter how that is. So I feel like that's it's a lot of what you do. It's a lot of what we do. And it kind of gives you a really broad understanding of a lot of different things.
And it's not just the industries, but also within marketing, things change so rapidly
Yeah.
now. It used to be like, before I got into business, it used to be like you placed an ad in the yellow pages and you did a TV run. And now with organic social and paid social, and now we have TikTok and we're short form videos, and everything is shifting so quickly. Algorithms change. Everything across the board, even the way people consume information. The human psychology across the board is different. And so we have to stay curious because we have to be on top of our industry as well as our clients' industries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But the more you do that, the more it builds that knowledge base that lets you instinctually answer all those questions, right?
For sure.
Because by the time you get on the next call, you've learned something from the last one.
Yeah. Or sometimes when you get on the next call, something's changed since the last one.
Yeah, that's true.
And you got to
That's
be
very
like, no, we're actually changing course because that doesn't work anymore now.
true. Yeah.
So talk about how obviously you're a very creative person. How do you gain inspiration for what you do, and what sparks your interest in creativity, your creative drive?
What's interesting for me is it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's creating that sparks creativity. Like the more I do, the more I love doing it or the more I want to do it. I don't know that I necessarily like sit down and consume inspiration on purpose. A lot of it is just fashion. I do go to Miami Swim Week every year, which is fashion shows. I've been to New York Fashion Week before. So fashion shows are very inspiring, like their art. I love going to an art museum. When I was in Paris recently, I went to Musée d'Orsay. I went to the Met when I was in New York, just art in its even more traditional forms, I think. And then movies, TV shows, audiobooks. Like, I know that's not a visual format, but I think anything that's a narrative created by another human it's kind of like the same thing that you're staying curious and you're just absorbing all this information. It doesn't necessarily, it's not A, B, C, but you're consuming all of it and it provides cumulatively the answer to B and C. It's kind of like that for me, inspiration-wise.
Yeah.
You mentioned created by another human, which brings me to the subject of AI. What are your thoughts, opinions, yay, nay, love, hate?
Okay, obviously a loaded question. So I feel like I have to just put this out there. Of course, it's bad for the environment, et cetera, et cetera. However, from a business perspective, I relate it to this. When I first got into photography, it was on the cusp of film turning into digital. And so wedding photographers, there were a lot of, especially, I don't know why, older white male photographers in wedding photography who refused to do digital because that's not real art and it's fake and it's digital and and you're not actually a photographer if you use digital. But they went out of business. Because they kept shooting film and that is not, they didn't stay relevant. They didn't stay on top of it. Now, there could have been a way for them to merge film as like a higher end offering package or an addition and move into digital, but they refused. And then in the same way, when Instagram first came out, I refused to get on because I'm like, I'm not doing another social platform like an old ornery person. And then when I got on it, I immediately started growing. I'm like, man, if I was on this 2 years earlier. So I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And the thing is, everyone's using AI. It is just...
There's no way around it.
There's no way around it.
It's
And
just
if
reality.
you refuse to use it, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah,
And I will say, in terms of creative pursuits, and the interesting thing with AI for me is kind of the way we consume a lot of stuff and we filter it. That's the thing. AI has consumed human art and human intellect. And all it's doing is it's doing a really efficient job of filtering all that down in a very analytical way. So no, it's not going to be able to create art that has emotion behind it, but when you're using it to analyze data, when you're using it to analyze the human psyche, it's really helpful. I think you cannot use it in a just, hey, write an email for me. You have to train it to know your voice. What is the email for? I always tell people, give it way more information than you think it needs. Yes, it's going to watch you. Yes, the government is watching. Like, whatever. It's
They were already
happening.
watching.
You might as
They were
well
already
use it to your benefit.
Do you have a smartphone? Yeah, okay.
Right,
You're
like I'm going to get ads for AI products as soon as this is over because my phone's sitting right here. So it's going to happen regardless. You might as well take advantage of it and make money off of it or ease your load. And the way I see it, again, it's all in mindset. Utilize AI to take the things off of you that don't require your talent and your vision as an artist or a professional. Like, I shouldn't be spending a shit ton of brain power writing an email just to sound professional at it. When I could have most of it written, make sure that it fits my words, but I'm saving 30 minutes of dedicated brain power on this long ass email, and I can use that time elsewhere for things that require me.
Right.
It's the same thing as like, there was like a trend in wedding photography, and it still exists, where you could outsource your wedding images to be edited because wedding images can be anywhere from 800 to 2,000 images. And so you can outsource the editing. And I tried doing it, and every single time I got back, I'm like, these are not even fucking close. So then I'm paying for it, and then I'm double editing them anyway. And so for me, I determined that is not something that I'm going to lose my personal touch on. But I don't like cleaning my house and I'm not good at cleaning my house, I can outsource that.
Right.
So it's the same thing with AI. Outsource it to use for things that don't require your specific zone of genius to be tapped into, so that you have more focused time in your zone of genius to do what it is that requires you.
Yeah. I think it's all, like you said, it's all about kind of narrowing in on, this is what I want to be doing. This is what I don't want to be doing. This is where I need my brain power. This is where I would be better off not doing this. But if there's not somebody else that can do that, then maybe I can outsource it to AI.
Right.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I love the term zone of genius, though. That's going to be our new.
It's
Our
one
new
of my
Chelseaism.
favorites. Yes. Well, it's like where you are operating in the things that bring you the most joy and are the most efficient source of ROI, basically. Looking at it like within your business, what is going to bring you the most revenue, or like your hourly rate. Like my hourly consulting rate, I can pay a fraction of that hourly rate to a home cleaner to clean my house. So I'm not cleaning, because when I'm cleaning it, I'm losing money.
Right.
And that's kind of my thought process. I can justify spending money on anything. I'll just give it to me and I can give you a justification.
So, all of these different things that you do and all of the time that it likely takes and brain power that it takes, do you ever have moments of burnout or creative block? And if so, how do you deal with that?
100%. Let's see. I am definitely the type that will just keep running until my body shuts down. And I have to take time off because I can't function anymore. I'm trying to unlearn that.
It's the entrepreneurial in you.
You can hear it in my voice that I haven't unlearned that. I pushed myself. I would say I'll just keep going, and then it's like I'm not living life. I'm just like going through it, and then I'm like, where did the past 2 weeks go? And so I have to like intentionally tell myself to be in the moment and to live life and to be really intentional about how I'm spending my time. And so again, some of that is, okay, what actually has to be done today? And then what am I going to do to just like check out of work? Because again, I work all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
My partner can tell you that I am always on. I mean, every meal is a write-off because I'm constantly talking about work. Like we go to date night and I'm like, okay, but what do you think about this concept? And he's like, we can write this off, right? So I would say it's being more intentional, or having to consciously make myself be more intentional. And then going back to AI, using it to brainstorm, not using it to think of your ideas for you, but a lot of times I am ADHD and I am medicated. But that also means knowing that I have put things in place that keep me on task, or I know that this is going to distract me, so I don't allow that in my office with me, that kind of thing. And so a lot of times for instance, if you were just to like, if your question was like, okay, tell me about you, I'd be like, I don't know where to fucking start. But you gave me like a lead into a specific thing. Tell me what it is that you do for a living. That's a lot easier to dial into. So I use AI for like, okay, I need to get focused on this topic. Give me a few, like brainstorm a few ideas for me to work on. And then that gives me a little like,
It's like a bucket to put it in.
yeah, it's
Or
helping
a path
me
to follow.
Right. It's helping me zone in a little bit instead of just going, oh, I could just talk about everything for all the time.
Right.
Like, give me an idea to work towards, and it kind of helps me stay on task in that regard.
And life is so distracting in and of itself. So I could imagine being ADHD would make that just amplified. Where there's so much, I mean, you've got so much coming at you all the time.
Yeah.
And especially you have so much that you're doing all of the time. That's got to be a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, between my Google Calendar, my entire Google suite of things for organization, and then I have a paper planner, and then I have a notebook, and I transcribe from my paper planner and my Google Calendar into a daily list, and then a weekly list, and I use my markers. So I have my system.
You got to build the system.
My system is built, and it's the only way I'm keeping it all together, y'all.
Yeah.
I love it.
We talked, you touched briefly on your partner and that you guys work together. Talk about what that's like to work with your partner in your creative business, and how his creativity bounces off of yours, if that is the case.
Yes, so he actually does have a full-time job that is not working for me. So it does require like some balance with schedules and stuff. For him, his full-time job is in finance, which is not creative, but he is a creative, he's a musician. And so working with me was an outlet for him to do something creative, again, that outlet. And then it is really fun to be able to like bounce ideas off of each other. And I will tell you a story kind of going back to when we met, when I was in wedding photography. When we were dating, he lived in Atlanta and I lived in Montgomery, Alabama. And so if he wanted to see me, he had to come see me on the weekend because he was in school full time and working. And I was shooting weddings on Saturdays. So if he wanted to see me, he had to work for me.
Right.
So that was how he got into wedding photography, is just, this is how we're dating, as we're going to work together. And we...
At weddings, which no pressure.
Right, none whatsoever. And we had, like, early on, we had a little come to Jesus meeting because he wanted to tell me what he thought as a partner versus an employee. Or like, oh, are you sure the light should be over there? And so I'm like... When we're at work, you don't question me. You can talk to me about it later. Or the fact that like I love people, I'm very kind, I'm very friendly, but when I'm working, I'm efficient.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going, hey babe, would you mind moving the light over a few degrees?
Right.
I'm going, light, move.
Right.
Right.
And it sounds rude.
Right.
And so we had to like, it's about communication. So we had to
sure.
communicate. I'm like, I'm not being rude to you.
Right.
Everything I say is prefaced with a please. It's followed by a thank you. It's just silent because I've got a lot going on. Because again, I'm reading people's emotions. I'm watching the time. I'm making sure everyone's taken care of, that we don't have to move on to the next thing, that there's no drama going on in the background.
Right.
And so I don't have the time to be dedicating my brain space to please move the light this way. It's just move the light, that way go.
Right.
And then afterwards, I'm like, thank you so much for all of your help. I really appreciate it. You did a good job, etc. But yeah, it's a lot of communication, I think.
Is it hard to separate work life from home life when you work together so much?
Yes, because they're one and the same. We both work from home. So
Right.
I have an enclosed office. He works from the living room and kind of like moves around the house, which is, I really designed our space when we did our remodel to create lots of like workspaces so that we could change it up. So he'll move from like the kitchen counter to his desk in the living room. We have a lounge downstairs.
Nice.
We have a desk in our, like a desk vanity in our bedroom. So being able to like move around the house and change it up and not get bored.
Yeah.
I have a full office, and that's usually where I am just because I need controlled light for editing. I have my big monitor for editing.
Right.
If I have just like emails, little tasks like clerical stuff, then I can take my tablet and move it around. But basically, we're always at home, always working. I don't keep standard hours. He doesn't keep super standard hours. And so it's, again, communication like, what are we talking about right now? Are we talking about what we're doing for dinner or like what we're doing for the next shoot? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
that's it.
Everything, it's all blurred lines.
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course. Yes.
Very similar in my house. So.
I was going to say, you would know a little something about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. But we're not talking about
That's a
me
different
today.
episode.
We're not talking about you right now.
What are you doing or going to be doing that you're most excited about? Like, is there a new upcoming project or place you're going to go or?
I have been all the places this year.
Yeah.
I'm like super excited about it. I got to go to France for 2 weeks.
Awesome.
I have been to Miami multiple times, which is my favorite.
I love
Miami Swim
Miami.
Week. Oh my God, I love Miami. I have my Miami bag right over there.
You are very Miami, like your fashion sense. Everything.
I have some of my followers call me Miss Miami. I'm like, I do not live there, but I appreciate it. Thank you. I will take that with pride. I actually, this is kind of like a good reminder for me to consciously like just kind of plan out what I'm going to manifest because it's kind of wide open for me. I just got back from New York. Finally got my full arm tattoo, so that was on my list of
awesome.
things that I wanted to do. And CMO to Grow like most of my things I want to do are career oriented. That's just who I am as a person. I've been spending more time with my sister, so I'm pretty happy with where I am. Just like more CMO to grow clients. I think that's it. Like just
On a roll. Just more of the same.
More of the same. More of like travel and marketing clients.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Sounds like a good place to be.
Yeah.
Are you interested in going back into theater? Is that something that you still enjoy doing? I know you're on the board of Dad's Garage, right?
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that one. That's my list. Right. I did. I just got voted onto the board for Dad's Garage. It's my first nonprofit board membership. I've been shooting in a nonprofit giving capacity for Dad's Garage for about 8 years now and been pretty heavily involved with them. Supporting the arts is something really important to me, obviously. So like I do coach artists, but I also, even from college, I remember I was a part of some sort of program for leadership or something because I was an overachiever. But yeah,
Shocking.
I know, right? I chose support for the arts in government as like my spokesman piece, whatever. I'm very good at talking. And that is something I've remained really passionate about because one thing that we learned during COVID is that it is not finance that fuels us, it's not capitalism, it is the arts. Everyone survived on TV shows, movies, music, podcast, comedy shows.
Right.
Like those are the things that fueled people and kept us sane. That and for a lot of people, alcohol. But mostly the arts is what we're talking about here. So I love supporting that with Dad's Garage because it's an improv theater. It is nationally known and it provides a space for artists, improvisers to play, to be on stage, to explore their craft. And it provides like a beautiful space for laughter in Atlanta. And so I am on the board for that. And I don't remember the original question.
If you ever wanted to be back on stage.
Oh, yes. So I've taken some Dad's Offers classes. And so I highly recommend the improv classes there. You kind of work your way up. It is great just for
multiple times.
Okay, so it's great just for communication. It's great for people in business to learn how to communicate with each other, to not make everything they say about themselves, but to listen and to give back. It's also really great for relationships. So there's a study, they're called bids. So in a relationship, one of the things that is an indicator of how successful that relationship will be is how responsive the partners are to bids. Bids are one person, like person A, offering a bid for attention or affection. Right. So it's kind of been trending on social media recently, like I saw a bird today. Now, if person B goes, okay, what's for dinner, they're not responding to that bid, and that's an indicator that the relationship is not going well and is not going to go well. But if person A says, I saw a bird today, and partner B says, oh, really? What color was it? They have responded to that bid and they've added to the conversation. That's what also improv classes help you to do, is to listen to the other person, to care about what they're saying, to offer your own but not center it around yourself, to center it around them. And so take improv classes.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
I love it.
Well, along those same lines, though, putting on your consulting hat in a soft way for a minute, I mean, what advice would you give to somebody else out there who, maybe has this creative passion that they haven't taken that step to follow it yet?
Ooh, I think the thing that I would say the most would be to really identify what it is that makes you feel joy. Because a lot of times we have in our head like, oh, I would like to start my own business. But that's not, if you really get down to like what you actually want, if you're chasing like what would bring me joy, and you say, I would like to start my own business, and that doesn't bring you joy, then that's not what you actually want.
Right.
What you might want is freedom of time, but you might be able to find that outside of starting your own business.
Right.
Or if it's a creative passion, like I just want to paint. Okay, well, what's the fastest path to painting? Buy some paint and start painting. Does that fill you with joy, or is there something else more? Is it that what fills you with joy is selling your art, having someone else say they want that art on their walls? Is that what brings you joy? So getting really, really clear on what it is that you actually want, not what you think you want. So if you get clear on that, then you have a path to it. So if you decide that it's selling your art, that is your true desire, then it's not just a matter of getting paint. That's one of the steps.
Right.
But it is getting paint, creating art, and starting to market yourself as a personal brand and all that goes into it to get to the point that you get to the thing that you actually want. So a lot of it is, it's all mindset to start, but it's the same thing with marketing. So if you say, oh, I want you to run my social media. Okay, but what is the goal of that? Is it just to post pretty pictures? Because if so, we can absolutely do that. But what is it that you really want? You think that social media is going to get you this thing. What is that thing? Once we know what that is, then we can dissect what actually needs to happen and get there. And it may not be just social media.
Right. Yeah, like find the end goal and then you can work your way back from it.
Right. And that's what you do, like, as someone who wants to pursue a certain thing in their life, or they're looking for a source of happiness, figuring out what that thing actually is. Because it could be, you know, like, for me, I really wanted my Porsche. For some people, they could say, I want a Porsche, but it's not that they actually want the Porsche. They want the attention that comes with it.
Right.
Right.
And that's not necessarily the same thing as owning a Porsche. There are other paths to that type of attention for a car.
Right.
So it's more of the mindset around it and then breaking down how to get to that end goal for me.
Let's stop there and talk about your Porsche because I love
A
it.
moment for the
and
Porsche.
It deserves attention. So tell us about your Porsche and how you got to that point.
Okay, so I have always been a Beetle girl. Like when I was 12 years old, I decided I want a Beetle, and I've had 4 in my life, and I love my Beetle. I will buy another one at some point. At one point, I fell in love with the body shape of the Taycan. There's just something about that is aesthetically so pleasing to me. And again, this is one of those things that wasn't about the Porsche for me. It was about, like, that's the prettiest car I've seen on the road, and I want it. So that was kind of my end goal, was to have the car that made me happy when I looked at it aesthetically.
Right.
So that's where that came from. And then, of course, I told you I can justify the purchase of anything. So most of my work is in town. It makes sense just to plug it in at night, go around in town. I never have to stop at a gas station. That's efficient. That's saving me time by not having to stop at the gas station if I don't want to. I can justify it all. And then when a lot of it was manifestation, but not just on an energetic level, like, because it keeps top of mind and in my conscious the end goal. So I'm working towards it all the time.
Right.
So I remember I was taking a year before I ended up buying it, I was taking a 2-week intensive course on fitness, because it was just something I didn't know if I was going to want to, like, teach fitness or anything, but I just wanted to know more about it. So I took a, like, personal trainer certification course, and driving in town and back every day, I just, like, imagined my Volkswagen emblem being a Porsche emblem.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
And then literally, like, a year later, I was driving my Porsche, and it was just, I kept it top of mind. This is what I'm shooting for. I did have the on mindset. This might be something interesting. I had some work to do around owning a car like that as a woman, because your kind of typical is a woman pulls up an expensive car and someone goes, who bought her that? Does she have a sugar daddy?
Yeah, right.
And that kind of thing. And also imposter syndrome, like, well, why am I spending money on this car when I could be doing this? Which, here's the thing. Men don't have that in their brains. They buy the car and they're like, oh, look at my car. They don't question whether they should have spent
The
money over
practicality of
here.
that.
They don't question the practicality. And when they pull up in the car, everyone goes, oh, hey, man, you must be doing well. Good, congratulations.
Yeah.
But for some reason with women, it's like, well, you must be charging too much or whatever.
Right.
So, and I worked my idea around that, going back to wedding photography. When I was in Alabama, I had booked several weddings, and being a single mom, like, $200 was a lot of money to me at that time. And I bought myself a Kate Spade bag. It was $100. And I'm like, I am high rolling. Look at this bag. And And I brought it to one of my consults.
Yeah.
And I remember the mother of the bride going, "Oh, Kate Spade, you must be charging too much."
Oh, boy.
Or something along those lines. I'm like,
Right.
I work hard for this.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And
How
so
dare you make me feel bad about
right,
Yeah.
right. But then with the car, this comes up again in like my subconscious, and I'm realizing it consciously. And I go, it's a matter of marketing though. Like, who is your ideal demographic? My ideal demographic is not someone who's cheap.
Yep, right.
Those aren't my rates. That's not the service I offer.
Right.
My ideal demographic is someone who goes, oh, she must be good at what she does.
Right.
I would like to hire her. Not someone who goes, oh, you must charge too much, because that's not who I want to work with in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
Because the response to that should be, and I'm worth every penny.
Yeah.
And you would know that if you hired me.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
if you don't, that's fine. I'm not the right person for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really love that idea of pre-qualifying just through the way I represent my brand and my business. When I first moved to Atlanta, one of the things, and I think this is when I really started getting interested in marketing, because it's something that kind of came naturally to me, but I wanted to dissect why this was. I hired the editor of a major wedding magazine. It was like $250 for an hour consult, and it was a lot of money at the time to me, but I was like, okay, I'm moving into a different market. I just want to make sure that I'm successful in this market as a wedding photographer. And she reviewed like my website. At the time, I had blonde hair with a pink streak. That's what I had when you hired me. Yeah. Okay, so it was mostly southern blonde, long hair with just a little pink streak in the front. And the first thing she said when we got on the consult was, she was like, you have to get rid of the pink streak. I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, Southern moms are not going to want that. You have to appeal to everyone. You can't be so bold and rebellious. And I like literally, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not listening to anything else on this call, because I didn't have the words for it at the time, but I knew instinctively that you can't market to everyone.
Yeah.
You cannot try to be a fit for everyone, because you're just not. And I didn't want to waste my time on calls with people who are going to judge me for the color of my hair.
Right.
I wanted to make sure that my time was used efficiently, and it was only people who saw my hair and said, she's cool, I want her at my wedding. I want to spend 15 hours on one day with this woman. Because that's going to happen. And if I'm like toning down who I am, like when I'm on location with you, you're going to get all of me, whether I have blonde hair or a pink streak in the front.
Right.
And so it was very important to me to do that. And that's kind of like, I think that's when marketing in my head started clicking in a conscious manner.
Right.
And I started being really interested in like how you present yourself and how that really affects not just your brand, but who you pull into your brand.
Yeah. And that's your personal brand. And I think a lot of people don't give enough credit to personal brands. You know, they think they present themselves in a way that is just, this is what I do, not this is who I am. And you definitely do a great job of, this is who I am. And what I do is supported by everything that I am and every way that I present myself.
It is interesting because personal brands and a brand that you own are so interlinked. So if you are just working for the man and you're a CMO for a company and you don't need a personal brand, the brand that you work for is fine. But when you are a founder like y'all are, your personal brand is a part of what Clementine Creative is. Like who you show up as when you go network, when you are on camera, that is a part of the Clementine Creative brand. And it's the same thing for me and any small business owner, where who you are as a person is what is being bought in the business side of things.
For sure.
So it's important that those things mesh well, that they're supportive, and that they are both authentic.
Yeah.
Because y'all know this, but your consumers will smell inauthenticity a mile away and want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Because your brand needs to be modeled after you, who you are, and authentically what you're passionate about.
Yeah. I think that's very true. And also, you know, when you talk about people like reacting to things that are not authentic, I think sometimes people can't even put their finger on what it is.
Yeah.
But you get, it just, something doesn't feel right or it doesn't connect or whatever. They might not be able to express what it is, but they're going to react to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
People are simultaneously smarter and dumber than you think. And it just depends on what we're talking about at that point.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's a great spot to stop.
I mean, that kind of sums it all up, really.
Well, Well, Chelsea, we really appreciate you being on our podcast today. You have shown your personality, your style, everything that you do. You can tell it just speaks and reads as Chelsea Patricia. And we love that about you.
Yes.
So thank you so much for inspiring us today with all of your thoughts and everything about who you are and what you do. And we look forward to not only working with you, but following everything that you've got going on. Tell everybody where they can follow you too.
Everywhere. cmo2grow.com, and then Chelsea Patricia and Chelsea Patricia Photo on Instagram. And from there, you can figure everything else out.
Yeah. Follow all the paths that leads you down.
Just meander.
Well, before we go, we usually like to end with a little rapid fire question and answer. Are you game for that?
Yeah, let's try it.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay. One place where you feel most inspired.
Miami.
Yeah, I knew what the answer to that was going to be. If you were a hero or a villain, what would your superpower be?
This is supposed to be rapid fire, but now I'm like,
You have to stop and think.
teleportation.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. What about your at-bat music? Like if you had your walk-up song, what's it going to be?
Ooh, Queen Herbie's Vitamins.
Love it.
Love it. Would you rather travel to the past or the future?
Neither.
I'm going to stay right here and
being
stay in the moment.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a great answer.
I don't want to risk fucking anything up.
Right? I don't want to make a wrong move.
Yeah, no. No, I'll just let what's supposed to happen.
One item that's on your bucket list.
Walk the runway at Miami Swim Week.
Ooh, awesome. If you could live inside a TV show, what show would you pick?
Is there anything really like just happy and non-consequential and nothing bad ever happens? Because I take that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I am not I don't do horror. I don't even do anything really stressful. I love murder mysteries and stuff, but I look up who dies in TV shows before I watch it because it's too stressful to get attached to a character.
I do that.
Right.
My husband thinks I'm crazy. I'm not crazy.
Think you're both
See,
crazy.
no,
I'm not crazy.
No.
I'm not crazy.
Wait, life is so stressful.
Exactly. You
There is
don't
no
need
reason for
that.
me to be artificially stressed about a character who is not real.
Well, I agree with that. So I
I feel very
comedies.
validated right now.
Thank you.
Chelsea. I appreciate
Me
that.
too.
Sweet or salty?
Both.
Yeah.
And
Maybe together.
always
Sounds
like basically I'll ask Brock, my partner, I'll be like, I'm hungry, I need something. He's like, sweet or salty? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, great, cool. I guess I'll just
Bring it all.
bring you a tray. I'm like, that sounds great, actually.
Perfect. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
Would you rather live the rest of your life in total sunlight or total darkness?
Sunlight.
Yeah, we knew what that was going to be. And finally, theater background. Can you impersonate any famous person or character?
I don't think I can impersonate. No, I act. I don't impersonate. No, I don't think I have one. I'm sorry. Like, I forgot. That's the thing. You ask me, like, what's your favorite song? And for the most part, I'm like, have I ever heard music before? What's your favorite color? What are
don't
colors
remember. It's
called?
on.
Like, my brain just.
Well, I think you're the best character to be anyway. So.
Thank you. I'm very good at that, at least.
Thank you so much for being here. It was so much fun to talk to you and hear all of the bold and beautiful things you do. We love your style.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'm honored.
And thank you all for joining us for another episode of Inspired By. If you like what you heard, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. And you can follow more of us at Clementine Creative Agency on Instagram. And we look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, I hope you find lots of ways to be inspired.
Hey.